Hello there. So, you've decided to become, or already are, a narrator or voice talent. In this series I'll be showing you all the tips and tricks that I've picked up over the last 10 months. Please remember that this is not what you have to do to become a decent narrator, this is just what I do to make one of my videos. Our first talking point is hardware. I'm going to assume that you have a computer that can record audio and render video. If not, there are some other options, but this usually results in low quality content. So, what else do we need? A microphone, obviously. Now, if you're just starting out, not sure if you want to keep this up, just using a headset microphone will allow you to figure out if you want to keep doing this. However, if you really want to start building an audience, you're gonna need a proper microphone. So, you have two options. You can either go for the lower quality, but usually cheaper USB microphone, like the Blue Yeti I'm recording this audio with right now, or you can go for the classic, but usually more expensive XLR microphone and audio interface combo. Make sure you do proper research on what microphone to buy, but I recommend you don't spend too much money at first, because equipment is not everything. So, let's talk software. We're gonna need some audio and video editing software. Personally, I use Audacity, which is free, and Adobe Premiere Pro. But video editing software doesn't have to be very high key. Just make sure that your video editing software does not end up distorting your audio. Before we get into finding some stories, there's one last thing we need to make our narration sound better. A place to record our stories. I have a couple of recommendations to create a perfect recording space. Our first concern is noise. Make sure your recording space is void of noisy fans, electric heaters or airco. I drilled a hole in my wall and moved my PC to my bedroom to minimize noise. The second concern is echoes. Preferably record in a room with carpet or a walk-in closet if you have one, because clothes and carpet will dampen the echoes. For hard walls, preferably cover them in some noise-dampening material, like those cheap foam mattresses you can buy at your local hardware store. Or you can go the Scrooge route like I do, and just put a sleeping bag over your head. The only problem is that it hurts my neck. So, now that we have our guns ready, we are going to need some ammunition. Stories. There are a few very popular places where you can acquire stories to narrate. Let me give you a rundown of two of them. The creepypasta Wikia is where a lot of the original creepypastas come from, and getting stories from the Wikia is pretty much the easiest way to get them. There is a catch though. After picking a story, scroll all the way to the bottom of the story to find the author and the copyright the story was released under. Make sure that you follow the link to the page that explains how that copyright works. Here's some of the most common ones. CC by SA, or Creative Commons by Shared Attribution, means you can use the stories in any way you want, including monetization of your video, as long as you share it under the same attribution. Although we can't officially do that, thanks to YouTube's limited selection for licensing, just make sure that you enforce this license. The second most common one is CC by NC, or Creative Commons by Non-Commercial, which is exactly the same as CC by SA, except for the fact that you can't monetize any of the content that you've produced using content under this license. If there's no license noted at the bottom of the story, the license is CC by SA on the Wikia. Another popular resource for stories is Reddit. Subreddits such as /r/nosleep and /r/let's not meet, for instance, contain many incredibly frightening stories that you can use for videos. However, Reddit claims no copyright on any of these stories at all, which means the authors still have all the rights to it. If you wish to narrate a story from Reddit, make sure to send a polite message to request written permission from the author. From previous experience, I have learned that many authors will be very thankful and honored that you send them a message, and will usually allow you to narrate the story. For other sources, make sure to check for licensing every single time. The YouTube copyright system is not a pleasant thing, and you really don't want to have one of the authors strike you because you took one of their stories without asking them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I've been able to give you some good tips on what and where to acquire hardware, software and stories. Next episode will be in recording your audio, and we might get into editing as well. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next guide to narration.